So one of the biggest things that I've learned, but I'm still kind of struggling to embody, is to not take things personally, like things that people may say to you, things that they may do to you, like anything, any type of attack that people have to exert onto you. I'm still trying to embody not to take it personally. And what I mean by that is it's easier for me to look at them and say, wow, they're just so evil and this, that, and the third. When in actuality, a lot of people are trying to hide away from demons that they keep buried inside. And when you're a light walker or someone who knows how to walk in your light and your shadow, that does something to people who refuse to confront their shadows. When you're somebody who's at peace with themselves, somebody who looks at their flaws and embraces them because that is a part of who you are, rather than try to shun them away and stuff. When you genuinely like yourself and have no ill resentment towards yourself, that ticks people off. And whether they are self aware or not about it, a lot of them will still attack you because, in their minds, attacking you, villainizing you, discouraging you, or even sabotaging you is a lot easier than for them to admit that there is genuinely something wrong with them. That alternative is easier for them than to admit that they are flawed. There are things that they need to work on. There are things about themselves that they simply cannot confront because it is just too hard for them. So when they see somebody like you who knows how to operate as you are without ill will, just with sheer purity of kindness and stuff, it upsets them because you are the mirror that they try to avoid so much. People are so ill in the head that they will literally go out of their way to attack you and do all these things to get you out of character just so it can justify their way of thinking that not everybody is just, or that everybody is exactly how they are. Just putting on a mask, putting on a facade, and just hiding away, the demons, embracing the demons behind closed doors even. And it's taken me a long time to realize myself that people don't necessarily hate me, or if you're seeing this, they don't necessarily hate you. They hate the mirror that you put up in front of them. They hate having to look at themselves as this imperfect, this flawed human being. And the ego says, I'm going to tear you down because that is a lot easier than actually raising my vibration to where you are at mentally. It's one of the main things why, not even trying to proclaim myself as a chosen one of sorts, but I have been through certain experiences that other chosen ones have gone through. So it's really not even just by hearsay, it's really by shared experience. But when you are somebody who is like us, I won't even say a chosen one because that'll, you know, rub people the wrong way. But when you're somebody who genuinely has empathy, not cognitive empathy, because that's what a lot of people actually have, is cognitive empathy. There are very few who have actual real empathy. Cognitive empathy is when you still have ill tendencies that you exercise, and you can kind of sense when somebody is starting to see you for who you are. So you try to shift it around in a sense so they don't. My bad, I just saw a dog. I wasn't sure if it was going to chase me down or not, but he seemed pretty cool. But yeah, cognitive empathy is when a person can sense that somebody is pulling away from them but their ego is too big to where they don't want to apologize for the wrongdoings that they actually done towards you. So instead, they may do something, they may act overly nice. They may try to do all these, you know, they might try to do all these performative gestures just to win you back over because that is easier than admitting fault. That is easier than admitting that they actually hurt you because again, that would have to admitting something and taking accountability means throwing away the ego. And that is something that a lot of people cannot do. And I'm not saying that, chosen ones don't have ego themselves either. We do, but it's a balance. Everything is a balance. That's been the theme that I've seen from like the past couple weeks. I've seen 222 everywhere that I go. And I know that that is the you know angel number for balance. So it could mean a lot of things, but in terms of ego and spirit, it's important not to operate too much in the ego because I believe that ego is a part of the human experience. Whereas if I was to try to operate fully in the spiritual side, I would literally lose my fucking mind as anybody else would. But all in all, really, I say all this to say, just to keep from rambling too far off, is the important thing is to just not take things personally. And that's something I'm speaking to myself when I say that because I have a bad tendency to do that. I'll be, or the old me used to really just think all the time, why me? How can I win these people over so they can stop attacking me? And the world that we live in now is just, you can be the most kind-hearted person in the world. You could have the best intentions for somebody because that is simply who you are. And because that is who you are, and because it is not a performance, because everybody else is performing, a lot of people is performing, because you actually embody the performance, they hate you for that. And I say they hate you, but the reality is that they hate themselves because you are nothing but a mirror. Or you're more than a mirror, obviously, but you are a mirror to them. So it's easier for them to attack you than to admit fault. It's easier for them to discourage you, sabotage you. It's easier for them to project onto you rather than to confront themselves and admit that they are not perfect, that they have stuff that they need to work on. It's easier to deflect than to grow. When you possess a certain energy within you, you literally force those around you who have not faced the demons within themselves to face them in order for them to elevate and to grow. And but just by being who you are is too much for them to bear, to be around you. And if they can't get from around you, they will attack you instinctively to try to reinforce the ideology in their head that not everybody is that pure, right? And if you want to learn how to better protect your energy from people who do these things, gray rocking is a good method if you can't escape from around them. If you can't escape, go low contact, go no contact. Remove yourself from environments that are unwelcoming of you. Remove yourself from places that are forcing you to act out of character because that is the only version of you that they will accept, right? And as always, love yourself because you are really the only thing that you have in this world at the end of the day. So if you don't love you,